All right, everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. It's been a minute. I do apologize if you're not in the Discord. I am traveling for work right now. I'm actually in Newcastle upon Tyne, and it's just been crazy. I'm here for work, so Boss and I have been working pretty late, and then we get off of work, and past 2 nights we've gone to the pub to watch Manchester City and Tottenham, which was hilarious. Sucks to suck Arsenal. And then last night we were in the same pub to watch Newcastle and Manchester United while Chelsea were spanking Brighton. So it was hilarious to sit there as a Chelsea supporter and see these Geordie fans in absolute shambles watching us, climb into sixth position there. It was brilliant. But enough of that. Let's give a shout out to the channel members. I do apologize. I know some of you need to get updated on here. I've not even had time to create videos, let alone update title cards. So I do apologize. I hope you guys can bear with me as we kind of get our life back on track here. So let's go ahead here. Let's talk about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and get into what you should be doing with your resources right now. And in my opinion, I think you need to be hoarding. As we transition to this new raid, as we get out of the speeder bike raid, you should be a lot more careful with your resources right now. And I've kind of narrowed down 3 areas that I think you could still invest your resources into that will still allow you in some way, shape, or form to be hoarding for the raid. So the first one, in my opinion, would be an S tier team. Now, when I say S tier, this is something you're equipping an Omicron to for either Territory Wars or Grand Arena. I think these are great teams. They're always good kind of investments. Even if they're not Journey Guide like Malicos, they're still a really good investment to make. So I'm okay with you kind of spending resources on these things because it does progress your account along. The one thing I'll say here is I don't want you to go crazy on all the S tier teams while you're waiting around for this next raid. Make good decisions, make smart decisions. Maybe try and see if there's any S tier teams that could be applicable in the new raid that you could be building instead. But I'm okay. I say okay, right? I'm okay with you investing some resources here. Even though it might not help you in the raid, it's still helping your account overall. But notice that I'm not talking about A tier teams or below that, because I just don't think anything below S tier right now, with how close we could be to this next raid, I don't know that going below that is going to have a significant return on your account in that time. Now, obviously, Journey Guide characters are next, and this should be self-explanatory, right? This should be just so easy. Yes, the Journey Guide characters absolutely are still worth continuing, especially any Galactic Legends. But then even looking at, obviously Jar Jar, but looking at Bo-Katan, looking at Jedi Knight Cal, those are characters where you're, again, investing in your account, you're investing in the future, you're trying to make yourself a better player. And I think for me, a lot of times, what I try to encourage you to do is when you're this close to a Journey Guide character, you don't want to stop that progress and start building something new. Get Kylo, get whoever it is, and then worry about the next thing. Because what I was trying to say, and it's been a few days, but, when I was talking about Jar Jar, and I said the mistake you all are going to make is that you're going to think farming this guy is the smartest decision. But it's not just farming him, it's the rushing that people are going to try and get him in, I'm going to refresh Boss Nass, not recognizing that unless you're willing to commit a ton of resources into refreshing Boomadir, you're done for. So I just want, and Phalanx too, on top of that. I just want to make sure that that was clear. I don't think it was, but I think with your resources now, if you're investing in Journey Guide things, I don't hate it because they have longevity. They've shown that they're a good investment for a very long time in this game. So again, I much would prefer you to be doing something Journey Guide related than an S tier team, simply because we have seen S tier teams lose some of their value. Where Starkiller, that team has really lost some value in the past couple of months. Now, I think some of that has to do with Datacrons, but I think even just as the game has kind of continued to change, he's beginning to struggle a little bit more comparative against some teams that he used to be just so consistent against. Now, that's in the Kyber 1 level. Below that, you're not going to notice a change. But finally, guys, operations. If your guild needs operations, you have to do these things right now. I don't, there's no way around it. Do your operations. And this leads into the perfect thing. My guild needs a Relic 8 Trench for operations. I just so happen to have Trench at Relic 7. So here you go. I had to do this before I could, second guess myself. Relic 8 Admiral Trench off. the bench, my friends. So yes, another Relic 8 done. You guys can come at me in the comments and say it's a waste, but we need it for operations. And I think that kind of sums up, like, when you look at these things and you look at how I'm envisioning you kind of progressing your account, you're looking at things that have return for, multiple areas. Obviously, Trench being a big part of that with, we need that operation done on Mandalore is where that is, right? We need that for Mandalore, be able to try and get that star, get those additional chirotech, that helps the guild. But I think any investment outside of these things, and you're just going to end up depleting your hoard that you need to kind of hang on to, especially because with this new raid coming, what if somebody like Admiral Trench is an extremely important part of that raid? Are a lot of you going to have him, you got him at level 1, gear 1, you got to start dumping gear into him. If you don't have anything saved up, you could be up a creek without a paddle. So I wanted to do this to kind of say, hey, like these 3 areas, I'm okay with you spending, but do it with the mindset that, am I going to have anything left over for when this new raid drops? Because that's when I think, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't spend resources you have today and get something. I'm just showing you that I would not be going and building a Rebel fighter team with Mon Mothma, right? I'd not go build, your POW and Hoth Rebel Scout and Scarith Rebel Pathfinder and Cara Dune to make a Mon Mothma team. Like, I would not be doing something like that. I would probably say this similar situation about something like Jawas. I would not be building Jawas. Like, there are certain teams, that I just right now would not be going crazy within investments because they don't have that return potential. Whereas, your S tier teams, you're going to get great use out of them in whatever game mode you love. Obviously, any journey guide character they've really held their value, especially even like the ones that they've released in these Lightspeed bundles. Yes, they've lost some value, but they're still, Kylo's still one of the best characters in this game. And then, of course, guys, got to get your operations done, right? Extremely important. So those are kind of 3 areas that I think are important. Again, this is a quicker video. It sounds silly. So it is, my computer says it's 6 p.m., but it's really 11:30 right now. The time difference is just brutal, guys. So I do appreciate it. I'm going to try and get more stuff out here. It's just, I'm not exaggerating when I say I got off work tonight at about 7:45 and we went straight to the pub to get dinner, and then came back to the hotel room, got to FaceTime my wife a little bit, and then trying to get conquest and territory battles done. So we got a lot going on here. I love you all so much. Thank you for your continued support. May the force be with you. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers, my friends.